Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a little while since I made a video. Let's see if I can make this green light. Looks like I will. Cool apartments. But yeah, like I was saying, it's been a little while since I made a video. I've been pretty busy with work and taking care of other things, so kind of threw a wrench in my whole regular YouTube video making operation. But the weather's nice right now. I figure I'd take a little bit of a afternoon stroll around the town, see how things are. And the weather's freaking great right now. But lately we've been having some cold, wet weather, so I haven't really been on the road quite as much as I would like to. But today's an exception, so here I am. But yeah, I think what I'd like to do is make a short video, because I don't really like making long videos. It takes way too long to edit. So I think I'll just pick a topic, and I have not done a review on my new factory 47 14-inch 8-hanger handlebars. So I think I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about that today. Alright, so not on the road again today, and I think I'd like to talk about my 14-inch factory 47 assault handlebars. A few weeks ago I took it down to the Harley Davidson dealership here in Fresno to get the stock 10-inch bars replaced and to throw these bad boys on there. So you might be asking the question, you know, do I like them? What do I like about them? What don't I like about them? So I'll go ahead and cover those details here momentarily. Alright, so what I will say, just as a disclaimer, is that I love these handlebars. These handlebars have just made a night and day difference for me on this motorcycle when it comes to riding around town and the mountain roads, just everywhere. It's made such a great improvement with the way that this motorcycle rides compared to the way that the 10-inch handlebars felt when I bought the motorcycle originally. Okay, so what do I like about these handlebars? Well, the obvious thing is probably that they look great, right? So what you see first, they give the bike a custom look, and I love motorcycles that have a lot of different aftermarket parts and customizations done to them. I like this one. It really increases or enhances the overall look of the motorcycle just by, I don't know, like 1,000%. And that's just an arbitrary number, but it's by a lot. I love this. I love the way that they look. They look great. But in all actuality, if they didn't perform great, I would hate them, right? But luckily that's not the case, and I'll tell you why. Because first of all, the reason why I got these handlebars is because the stock 10-inch bars that the motorcycle came with was just let me get through here. You're gonna go? All right, you go ahead. All right. Okay. So I'm getting through that. Let me think about what I was saying. What I like about these handlebars is that it obviously raises my hands up a lot higher than the 10-inch bars the motorcycle came with from the factory. Okay? And so why is that so important? Well, because after riding, after riding this motorcycle for over an hour, 2 hours, you know, your arms kind of get it kind of gets in a little bit of a pinch right here in my shoulders. And before, you know, it wasn't really that big of an issue. But after a while, when you think about it, this is a touring motorcycle, and if I plan on going any longer trips, do I really want my arms to be tired just after a couple hours of riding at a time? And so obviously the answer is no. Most of my riding is done within an hour or two, but I do have plans to go on longer rides in the near future, like to the beach or somewhere up in Northern California, and I'd like to be able to take this motorcycle with me and go on those longer trips. So with that being said, that's the reason why I wanted to get taller handlebars, because the lower ones were just too low for me. Secondly, one thing that I didn't actually anticipate after I got these bars installed was the improved handling of the motorcycle. I mean, this thing turns a whole lot better than it did before. And I think the reason why that is because not only is it just up higher, but the handlebars, they're spread out a little bit further too. And I think that just gives it better leverage. So when I'm on a counter steer, for instance, you just push forward and the bike just wants to move, right? And I love going around the mountain roads a lot. That's where I like to do most of my riding, is up in the mountains. And with these ape hangers, it just goes right through those corners so much better than the other ones before. Okay, so yeah, obviously they look better, my arms are up higher, the handling is improved. But let's see, what else was I thinking? Oh, right. And last but not least, my riding position. So not only are my hands up higher than before, but I'm also sitting more upright. Before, with the 10-inch bars and with my old stock seat that I had on here before I replaced it with the Lapera, I was sitting up too close to the gas tank, and my back was always kind of slouched over. I was always kind of like this. That was greatly exaggerated, of course. I wasn't leaning that much over, but you get the idea. With my arms being lower, my upper back was slouched a lot more. So now that they're up higher, I'm sitting up straighter, and I can actually just enjoy the ride a lot more comfortably. So that's what I really like about these handlebars, is that it just really puts me in a better riding position. It improves the handling of the motorcycle, and honestly, the looks is just like the cherry on top. I mean, you don't have to get this style of motorcycle. They call this like a meat hook style ape hanger. They have other kinds as well, but this is the one that I got, and I'm happy with it. So I just noticed that ever since I got these new motorcycle handlebars, that my riding experience on the Street Glide has been a lot better. So much better, like 100-fold better. Okay, so those are the things that I like about this. What are some of the things that I don't like? To be frankly honest, the only thing that I don't like is that it's expensive to install taller handlebars on a Street Glide motorcycle. And the reason why it is expensive for me is because, for one, I don't do any wrenching on this motorcycle. I'm not a wrencher, I'm not a mechanic. So if I want anything special to be done to this bike, then I take it down to the dealership. So everybody knows by now that if you get any work done on the dealership at all, it's going to cost you at least twice as much, if not more than that, than if you were to probably go get it done at another shop locally in town, and that's fine. If that's where you prefer to take your motorcycles, to a local independent mechanic, by all means go ahead and do that. That's actually what I do with my Harley Dyna Wide Glide. I take it to a local shop. I don't take it to the dealer. So the question is, why do I take the Street Glide to the dealer then? Well, mostly because it's still under warranty, and I know that if I have my handlebars installed from an independent mechanic, that's not going to void my powertrain warranty on the Street Glide. But what I don't want it to void is other things that are still under warranty for the Street Glide. It's the year Street Glide that I have is a 2021, so I still have about a year and a half left before this warranty expires. So right now I actually feel better just taking it to the dealership and having them work on it, because if anything goes wrong, I'm going to take it right back to them and have them fix it, and they're cool with that, and they'll take care of it. So that's the reason why I went there. It's mostly, yeah, I'm going to pay more than I would somewhere else, obviously, but I have the peace of mind knowing that if anything does go wrong, it's on them. It's not on me, or it's not on anybody else. So that's the reason why I decided to go to Harley Davidson to get these bars installed. All right, just the peace of mind. Look, they did a great job. I'm perfectly happy with it. Could I have saved a few $100, if not more, by having someone else do it? Yeah, I could have done that. And if this bike was older and was not under warranty, that's exactly what I would have done. But since it's not, once again, that's why I decided to go there. Look at that. It's probably the best time to actually ride through here right now, when everything's green, springtime. This is actually the first road I went riding on with my dad when I got my license. In any case, so what else do I do not like about these handlebars? Well, with these handlebars, they're the 14-inch tall handlebars. What's up, guy? So the 14 inches tall, which means I had to buy the longer clutch brake cables to fit these handlebars the right way. Okay, maybe somebody knows a trick or a hack that could use the stock lines to get the 14-inch bars installed. But everywhere else that I've done research, they always said, no, you need the longer lines. It's better just to get the longer lines. So that's why I also went to the Harley Davidson dealership again and had them. I'm like, look, just get the longer lines, just do the work. You know, I'm getting tired of riding around on these 10-inch bars. You know, I need something different. So naturally, that costs more money too. So why did I go with the 14 inches versus the maybe the 12s or the 16s? Well, like I said, I wanted my arms up higher because I didn't want to slump over, and I felt that if I got the 12s, it wouldn't make that much of a difference. And plus, I heard my hands would be right in front of my fairing mirrors. And so, after I did my research, I learned that if you get 14s, they'll be over the fairing, and you shouldn't have any issues with looking at your mirrors. Or if you go any higher than 14 inches, right? I'm like, all right. Well, I wonder how 14s and 16s might feel. So I went over to the dealership, and I found a motorcycle that had 16-inch ape hangers on there, and they let me test drive it. So I was happy with that. that they let me test drive the motorcycle so I can kind of get a feel for it. It was a street glide just like my bike. And when I test rode the street glide with the 16s, it almost felt like my hands were up but just a little bit too high for comfort for me. And so I know I didn't want 12s. I know I don't want, probably not going to want 16s in the long run. So that only means the happy spot in the middle is the 14-inch. So I'm like, okay, cool. So maybe I'll just settle for the 14s, and I think I'll be all right with that. And I do think that I made the right choice going with the 14-inch handlebars for me. And I'll explain that later. Okay? But one thing that I realized after I got these bars installed was that, yeah, they're above the fairing mirrors, but the controls right here, they're still in the way. Okay? They're still in the way, which means if I wanted to actually see my mirrors, I have to turn my head this way, or I have to turn my head that way, and then I could see. And that's not something that I wanted to do. That's the reason why I got these mirrors now. Okay? So it sort of defeated the purpose of, I guess, getting the 12s. Because one of the reasons why I wanted to go higher is because I didn't want to cover up those mirrors. Well, they're still kind of covered up because of the controls. So I still ended up getting new mirrors anyway. That's alright though, because I kind of like these mirrors a lot better than the fairing mirrors. They're up higher, so I could see a lot easier. It's just a quick glance, you know, on the mirrors, and I can see everything behind me basically. So these mirrors work out a lot better than the fairing mirrors, I think. I guess the one advantage with the 12s is that your hands would still be behind the fairing, and that would block a lot of the wind. And if you ride in cold weather, that could make quite, you know, an improvement, is having your hands covered up all that much more. But it doesn't really get that cold over here where I live, so I don't really care. I mean, it still gets down in the freezing temperatures, but that's only like in the morning. And then in the afternoon and stuff like that, it gets like in the 40s and 50s. And so it doesn't really get all that cold over here. Not where I live anyway. If you go up in the mountains, it gets a lot colder, but not at my elevation where I'm a lot lower. So anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Would I have been happier if I got the 16s? Probably not. Would I have been happier if I got the 12s? Probably not. I'm glad that I got the 14s, even though that I had to get the longer lines and I still had to get new mirrors. My hands and my arms are in the perfect riding spot. Okay? If I had to go back and think about all the pros and cons, I still think, for me, going with the 14-inch handlebars is the best option. And if you're watching my video for the first time, just know that I'm about 6'3" tall. Okay, so I'm not, so that's just, if you need a frame of reference, then that's how tall I am. My arms are about shoulder height, but slightly under, or I should say my hands are slightly shoulder height, but a little bit under. And that actually makes a big difference, because if with the 16s, they're kind of like right even with my shoulders, maybe a little bit higher. And I've heard that if people have their hands up way too high for ape hangers, then their arms start going numb, and then they end up having to drop their arms down because they're getting tired, or they need to get some feeling back in there, because the blood's not flowing up to their hands quite as well as if their hands were a little bit low their shoulders. So the 14-inch, if I'm making any sense right now, I hope I am. If I'm not, then I'm sorry. Just go back a little bit and watch it again. The 14-inch bars puts my hands just a little bit lower than my shoulders, and so it sits me up straighter. I have a lot more control over my motorcycle. The cornering is a lot better than before. So really the 14-inch motorcycle, the 14-inch 8-hanger handlebars is really the perfect size for me. So I could not be any happier with these things than I am right now. Okay, so if you guys are thinking about getting taller handlebars, I would definitely recommend it. If you own a Street Glide and you're over 6 foot tall and you're feeling like, you know, the ride could just be a little bit better, you want to sit up a little bit straighter, then yes, definitely get a 14-inch 8-hanger handlebar for your motorcycle. I don't care who you get it from, but if you want to know who makes these ones, if you like how they look, this is made by Factory 47, and they're the 14-inch assault style handlebars. Okay, that's what these are. Factory 47 14-inch assault. Okay, but there's a lot of other brands out there that make bars just like these ones. Okay, so do your shopping, do your research, but 14-inch handlebars are definitely a very good option. Okay, all right, so I'll just kind of get through a few of these turns here. Freaking looks amazing over here right now. Get through some of these turns and then I'll call it a wrap. So if you guys like what you saw on this video today, please give it a like. If you think you'd like to see some more videos made by Nerd on Harleys, please feel free to subscribe. Let me know if you have any comments or suggestions, or if you like the videos, just let me know in the comments below. All right. All right, thanks guys. Until next time, I'll catch you later, okay? Peace.